Hey there, beautiful humans. Hello, hello, hello. I hope that you are doing well. It's January 15th. I can still say Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I wanted to share a little info on something that I've been thinking about. So, A1C, I did, it was just a basic post just saying a little bit on A1C and inflammation. And then under the post or graphic or whatever it's called, I shared a little bit of info or things to think about underneath it. And so I've just been thinking about it with, us just finishing the holiday season. And so we went from, I always feel like we kind of get locked into this little roller coaster ride of Halloween, especially like Halloween comes, the candy, all the things. And then we lock in, right? We are on the journey of Thanksgiving, and then we have the cold weather, and the food starts changing anyway. And then we have the holidays and events and all kinds of different things. And so it just got me thinking about the different viruses that are kind of circulating right now. There's the respiratory viruses, stomach viruses, um, a combination of things, plus, right, the other health issues that might come up for people. And so it just got me thinking back to that connection between the foods that we eat and the what our blood sugar might look like with that snapshot of it, and then that connection to inflammation in our bodies. And so like inflammation is something that I didn't necessarily think, oh yeah, I want to go down and learn about inflammation and let that be something that I get excited to talk about. But with having multiple autoimmune diagnoses, pretty much like that was something that was part of the picture. I realized at a young age that I had a very high level of inflammation inside my body. So I could see swelling, I could feel pain and heat and all kinds of things. So it was visibly noticeable. And also, I would have lab levels that were very elevated in that sense. And so, in order for me to start to feel better, I felt like I had to learn more about what that all meant, how that all worked and played out with each other. Um, what does having high inflammation inside my body actually mean? What could it mean for my future, for my symptoms, all of these things? What are the things that can help support me to learn to turn down the volume of that? And what are the things that get it kind of revved up? And so I was just guided today to reach out and just kind of share a little bit about that in regards to the A1C, which, let me know if you know what an A1C is. If anyone's on here, I can't see like who is on here. If anyone, so if you're catching the replay, let me know if you see the replay. But like if you know what an A1C is, please do post something in the comments to let me know. If you don't know, say I don't know or a question mark. Um, and so, people hear about, right, blood sugar. You may hear the word glucose. Those are things, these are all connected in that world. And the A1C test is something that they could utilize to help look at almost like a snapshot. I kind of say like it's kind of like a snapshot of what your sugars might be looking like. Like you can go ahead and test your blood sugar one day, let's say before a meal, after a meal, whatever. You have that snapshot, you might have a number, and then maybe, right, depending on what you're eating the next day, it could either be close to that, depending on what the food is, or completely different. Other factors can come into play, such as stress level, illness, exercise, things like that. But the A1C is something like I want to invite you to think about, like, when it's time for your yearly primary care physician appointment, like that is a test that I would hope that your doctor is looking at. So I want to invite you to have an awareness of what that test is, what it means, and why it's important for you to be aware of it and to engage in conversation about it. And so that's what this is about. And so again, it's a snapshot, so it's able to like kind of capture, think about like okay, we just had the holiday season, we were eating certain things, there might have been different stressors, all of that. And so maybe we took our blood sugar, our A1C levels at an appointment in the summertime. So we didn't have all that going on. The food we were eating was different. We were more active. Maybe we were more calm, whatever it might be. I'd be curious to look at, okay, I wonder what my A1C is this time of year during these situations and circumstances and happenings. And then what it is now, kind of coming from the holiday season, with some of the different things that are at play during that time. So that's just something that kind of comes to my mind. Um, Food for thought. And then, I just think that no matter what time of year you go to the doctor, you get it tested, I think that it's something to, I want to encourage you to utilize it as a tool to help with being well, right? So, like, it's kind of like that whole ignorance is bliss, right? We don't know about it, whatever. But I want to invite you to learn about it and not to get stressed out about it, just to kind of learn about it. And there are ways that you can learn to turn the volume down on it if it is something that you feel like, oh my gosh, my A1C is really high, my doctor's concerned, I have diabetes, or I'm pre diabetic. So, this is something when you hear people say, I'm pre diabetic. Um, the A1C is something that gives you that information, like those different levels and the different category of where you are. And so knowing that you're pre-diabetic is a great thing, because having that information could then hopefully, guide you to learn, okay, well, how can I turn this around? How can I learn more about what's happening here? What are some things that could support so that I can bring this number down naturally? And there are a lot of things that you could do to help support that, so that your A1C, your glucose numbers, those things can be more in alignment. Now, yes, there's people have all kinds of other conditions that can impact those numbers, and I get that, and that's why it's even more important if you have other conditions to make sure that you're on top of these numbers. It's kind of like, I think what I found for myself with the lupus and the Sjogren's and the celiac was, I already have all these inflammatory processes going on in my body. It's going to be important for me to try to protect my organs, um, my energy, these different things as much as possible. So that's why I felt like it was important to learn about these things, to then make sure that I wasn't adding anything else on top of the things that I was already navigating. So let me see. So it's just a blood test. You would go get tested. I think when I have it done, probably usually maybe the next day, the day after, I get results. My doctor, primary, does a really good job of sharing, here's your levels. And I feel like, everything thankfully has been coming back very good. But she'll, like, no matter what, kind of always put a big blurb as to what each test is, which I really appreciate about her, what that means, where we want the range to be, what are the things that support it. So, again, another reason why I really like her, and the way she engages and takes the time to teach about those different things and why it's important, because we can go to the doctor and just kind of leave it all in their hands and have a detachment from that. So my invitation for you is to learn a little bit more, get a bit more involved, and know what the hell they're talking about. So let's see. So that's that. And again, so like it's the snapshot of like the last 3 months. So like, let's say you go, it's higher, you come back home, the doctor's like, hey, your level's high, you're pre-diabetic. They'll usually say you need to make lifestyle changes. And I would be curious if anyone, like if anyone's out there listening to this, if your doctor has told you you're pre-diabetic, I'd be curious to learn from you, and I would love to have a conversation actually. What have they put in place, or what have they discussed with you as the next steps to help improve your A1C? Do you feel like there was a solid plan? Is there a clear strategy? What did they tell you? I hear people say, oh, they just told me to change my food or to work on my lifestyle. Was there any more details aside from that? Did they tell you what to eat? Did they tell you what kind of lifestyle things? I'm curious. Please do let me know. Seriously. I think that this could be helpful information. So if you're comfortable sharing below, share. If not, I get it. Okay, so yeah, so you can get that diagnosis, pre-diabetic or even diabetic, whatever it may be. And then just because you have that number that one time, that doesn't mean, oh no, I have diabetes. That's it. It's the end. It's over. No. So you can, you know, learn to implement some strategies, have an awareness of what was turning that up, look at what you can do to help turn that down, put those things into place, imperfect practice, you know, of things that you could look at to help support that ultimate level that you desire, um, so that you can help prevent any issues. So when we're talking about the heart attacks, the strokes, all those different things, like this A1C, this glucose, the sugar, like all the things, like this definitely plays a significant role, um, in a lot of the cases. You know, like a high A1C is something that is absolutely causing a lot of negative impact. Let's just say snapshot on the health of our country right now, right? Like that, in addition to some other things. And then it's kind of looking at, well, what are the factors that are like leading to that? So I was scrolling here. I'm just kind of scrolling back and forth. I'm on CDC, just kind of looking for some basic stuff. I'm not going to go and read it all, but it's just the A1C test for diabetes and prediabetes, and then they go into symptoms, testing, risk factors, prevention, all those different things. Um, so I, you know, want to invite you to, you know, maybe check something like that out if that speaks to you, or just have some questions ready for your doctor, or just know, okay, I did it this time, or oh, I haven't been to the doctors in a couple of years. This might be your invitation, friendly invitation to see about having an appointment, you know, to just at least, you know, get those lab levels done. Again, because of that connection that the A1C having high, you know, chronically high glucose levels, the impact that it can have on things like your eyes and your heart and your kidneys, and, you know, just vital things that you want and need to have a better quality of life, a more satisfying, pleasurable, enjoyable life. So, um, yeah, that's kind of what's speaking to me here. Let me see. And if you have any questions for me, please do, you know, feel free to reach out. Okay, I'm going to jump around now to prevention. So here's what they say: you can reverse prediabetes. So you can reverse prediabetes to prevent or delay type 2 with proven achievable lifestyle changes, such as losing small amount of weight, making healthy eating choices, and getting more physically active. So, right, that's huge. Um, and I know it's kind of like I kind of say this thing, and this is like tough love, but you know, like it's true shit. Um, it's kind of like there's the discomfort of making the changes of some lifestyle stuff at times, right? Sometimes some of us could be really excited about the stuff, and sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, it's too much, it's overwhelming, it's painful, it's uncomfortable, all the things. And also, diabetes, life with diabetes can be uncomfortable also. So it's kind of looking at, and I know it's not right. It's not always that easy cut, right? I get it. And also, I want to invite you to kind of think about that, and you know, just be intentional with with where you want to be with that. So risk factors: anyone can develop prediabetes at any age, but you may also have a higher risk if you have a family of type 2 diabetes. So that's another thing, looking at family history. And also, just because, you know, everybody in the family has it doesn't mean that, oh, it's because my family had it. No, there could be because of those history, that history of the lifestyle factors that were at play. Um, okay, and the next thing on here is, are you over age 45? So I'm 45. Uh-oh, I'm 45. I'm 45. Anyway, I'm almost out of 45. So, you know, how old are you? So a lot of my friends in their 40s, right? So I want to invite you all, especially my 40 something people, you know, to make sure that you have an idea what your numbers are. And, you know, when you're looking at your parents, your grandparents, different things, like how did things end up playing out? How was the health of the family? And you get to decide, right? Yes, again, ultimately we know there's some genetic stuff, but that really is a smaller portion of things. You ultimately get to decide, you know, how you want things to play out. They're finding more and more that a lot of the stuff that we are navigating on a whole is lifestyle based. Okay, so overweight or obesity, that's another risk factor. A history of gestational diabetes, high blood pressure. That's a whole nother life, right? If you are Hispanic, Latino, Black, Asian American, or Native American person, risk factor. So we can go into the whole shit show of things that can be kind of combined with risk factors that come into being in that space. I'm getting excited now. See my passion about the whole health and lifestyle stuff is starting to come up. So important stuff. And so again, some of us, and I'm definitely one, the autoimmune stuff, the Hispanic stuff, I've already had high blood pressure when I was younger due to probably, well, the lifestyle stuff, and the autoimmune stuff. So there's a combination of things. You tie in the stressors, other environmental factors that can put us at higher risk. And also with just learning a little bit more about some of these things, finding the knob, how can I turn this down, getting a little bit more intentional every day, it can make um, it can make for some really good progress and results on helping to decrease your risk for additional unnecessary complications. And so that's what I'm about. Like, how can we make it so that you can have less struggle and have more joy, pleasure, satisfaction, have a body that you feel better in, all of those things. So, oh, look at this. This is so funny. So, on the CDC thing, I wasn't even looking for this. Join a lifestyle change program. If your doctor confirms you have prediabetes, oh, so they actually have joined the CDC recognized National Diabetes Prevention Program, Lifestyle Change Program. You'll learn how to make lasting lifestyle changes to prevent or delay. Work with a trained lifestyle coach who will help you make small changes. Look, I didn't come on here to promote their stuff. Okay. But either way, I want you all to be well. Regardless of who you work with or how you get to it, I ultimately want you to be well. And if there's any way that I can help you, please do reach out. But again, just like looking online, quick CDC, what's the thing crosses your mind, just take a couple minutes, just 2 minutes of additional information might be something that can help to keep you a bit more intentional or maybe even inspired with some of the outcomes and goals that you have for yourself. All right, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope this was helpful. And have a beautiful day.